Hey guys, how was that? Are you all back there? I think you're all back. Are we back? Let me just make sure my phone's coming through loud and clear. Yes. Yes, it is. G'day, how you doing again? Tutorial number 2 for the day. If you missed the first one, I've put the link to the first one inside the description of this particular video. In the first tutorial, we did this beautiful little technique, creating a twilight image from a sunset image. Before, after. How about that? Before, after. I quite like it. Maybe it's a little bit too pink, but you can adjust that color toning to suit yourself. You could even add different colors in there that appeal to your eye rather than running with exactly what I do every single time. We have a bunch of you back again. I can't see the numbers. No, it's broken. It's broken. Let's turn that off. 0 people on the stream, but I'm pretty sure there's more than 0 people here because I can see you're all chatting away over in the live comments, which is great. I got a fresh cup of tea myself. Here we go. Beautiful cup of chai tea. Now, this one is incredible. What we're going to do in this tutorial, this particular technique changed my life. Well, it didn't change my life. That's a bit dramatic, isn't it? It changed my editing workflow forever because with this technique, I was able to paint in pure golden, warm sunlight into any photograph. And you saw me doing that yesterday. If you missed out on yesterday's tutorial, we created this. Well, I'm like, to be honest, I'm rather proud of this one, and you might be able to tell because I keep referring back to it. That was the finished product. And here was the starting point, okay? So a dramatic edit. It was a beautiful starting point, but we really went to town on it and created something really dramatic, really old school romantic style. And we used that painting with pure sunlight on the side of this hill here, also a little bit in the sky. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that today because I use it in every single one of my edits, I think, almost without doubt. Almost without doubt. Okay, Carol says, thank you for so much of all your time, expertise. We appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you guys too. You make my life, better. Allowing me to come here and show these different techniques and all the kind messages and emails that I get and comments, of course, here. Absolutely beautiful. It gives me purpose and meaning and it makes the days fly by in this current situation. Look at all these people we have here. Cheryl again, Katrina, Linda, Tarina, Gay, Nikki, Anne-Marie, Karen. I won't run through them all, but thank you guys for all turning up and tuning in for the second episode today. Couple of quick things, just in case you're here for the first time. In the coming weeks, this Friday, we have 𝗃𝗫𝗄𝗃𝗃 joining us to talk about his particular award-winning style of landscape, wildlife and travel photography. That will be absolutely incredible. He's a good mate of mine, so there should be some good fun banter going around. Next Thursday, we've got 𝗃𝗆𝗆, one of Australia's premier aerial photographers and adventure photographers and event photographers. In actual fact, he's going to take us on an incredible adventure journey through America's Grand Canyon. Looking forward to that. Really transport us out of our homes and into the Grand Canyon for an hour or so. The following Thursday, after 𝗃𝗆𝗆's presentation next week, we have 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗄𝗃. She is amazing. She's an incredible photographer and she's going to inspire all of us with her stories of her journey to where she is in photography. That will be amazing. Put those dates in your diary or just click the subscribe button, get notifications and join us here every day at 10 a.m. How's the like counter going? I would love it if you could all press the like button. If you've been here before, make it a habit. If you enjoy the show, just click the like button as you come in. It's a little coin in the tip bucket, if you like, for me and helps the channel grow. And all it takes is just a little click of the mouse. Of course, if you're waiting to see if it's worth the like, then absolutely I'll try and impress you with this particular video. And look, to be absolutely honest, if I cannot get a like out of nearly every single person with this technique, then I am completely deluded because this is the most important technique in my entire workflow by far. By far. How do you spell Paul's surname? Holen, H-O-E-L-E-N, H-O-E-L-E-N. Incredible photographer. Look him up. Look him up. He's known for his aerials, but what I love from Paul Holen is his ability to storytell, both through his imagery and through his written and spoken words. You will be transported. You will be transported out of your homes into the Grand Canyon next Thursday. Not this coming Thursday, next Thursday. Pencil that in. All right, let's do this technique. Let's do this technique, painting with pure sunlight. Anthony says that last technique tutorial was excellent. Layers are starting to fall in place, mate. That is brilliant, awesome. I love hearing that. And that's why I love doing this every day. Okay, what I'll do first, if you're following along or if you would like to follow along, down in the description below, there's so much info down in that description below. There's Photoshop courses and there's this, that and the other. Oh, there's a photo competition, a free competition. Have a look down below as well. That's open for roughly the next 3 weeks. Have a look at that as well. But what I was getting to, you can also download this example file and follow along this tutorial at home with me. David asks, just quickly before we get into this, I love a bit of Q&A and I like you guys asking questions because it adds variety to what I do. David asks, what is the current obsession with aerial photography? I find... Oh, you got me. I only read the first bit and then I realized you were telling a dad joke that is right. That would go, you know, in the first couple of pages on my best dad jokes ever. I find antennas a boring subject. Yeah, too many antennas, you know. Although, you'd be surprised what you can do with a little bit of antenna photography. I'm now not sure if I should answer that question seriously. What is the current obsession? But anyway. Tarina, did Tarina give me a compliment? Yeah, I am getting a big header. Yeah, absolutely. I love the compliments. Keep them coming, keep them coming. It keeps me sane and keeps me encouraged. I'll try not to get a big ego and a big head, and I'll try to be just as silly and myself as possible on all occasions without letting it all get to me and become a big superstar, which is not going to happen in any case, is it? All right. What we're going to do here first, let's get into the tutorial, shall we? It's been fun having a chat, but I know there's some people there that get a little frustrated when I get off topic, so let's jump in and do it. What we'll do first is I'm actually going to create a sky mask, okay, using the quick selection tool. So we need to click on the quick selection tool. In my panel here, it's the 4th tool down. You can press W for William, for water, as a keyboard shortcut. And in actual fact, you might find that the 4th tool down is in fact the magic wand tool. Right click on that 4th tool down and make sure we all have the quick selection tool selected. Okay, click on that quick selection tool. Move along the top menu here. We want the second option selected. So you can see we have a little brush with a selection dots and then a little brush with a plus and a little brush with a minus. Choose the one with the plus, that's the default. Sample all layers, it doesn't matter in this case because we only have the one layer, but yeah, have that clicked. Leave auto enhance off and we're ready to go. Just click in the top left corner of the sky and don't drag down, just drag along the top and eventually I think it should snap down. Pop, there she goes. Perfect. If yours doesn't do that or you're on another image and it kind of goes like that, which happens relatively regularly, what you want to do is hold down the Alt button and you'll see your little icon changes from a plus to a minus and you can just tidy up like this. Okay, get it as close as you can to the area that you want to select. Yeah, we could even come in under the bench here and click on that bit. Not critical really, don't worry about it if you've missed that. Move up to the top center header bar here and click on select and mask. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, I don't know, should I know who 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is? The name sounds familiar, but are you having a bit of fun with me there? Challenge accepted. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Probably having a bit of a laugh. All right, let's set this selected mask tool up. I like to use the red one. If you click on the view menu and then select overlay, the red one, perfect. Click back on the view menu to close that. Put the opacity at 50% there, and everything else at defaults, which is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and we're ready to go. Move over to the left. There's a series of 5 or 6 tools. Click on the second one down. If you leave your mouse sitting on there, you'll see it is, eventually, is it going to tell me? There we go. Refine Edge Brush, and the keyboard shortcut is R. That's fine. Moving along the top menu, again, we want the plus symbol. I guess we could have sample all layers checked as well. That makes sense, doesn't it? And we're ready to go. We can use the square brackets to make the brush big or small. You want the smallest brush possible. Well, not the smallest possible, but the smallest that's comfortable. In this case, I'm using a 45 pixel brush. You can see that up in the top menu there. Quick sip of tea. Ah, an English comedian, the younger. You must be too young for the two Ronnies. No, well, yes and no. I don't believe I've ever seen too much of their work, but I have heard of the two Ronnies, absolutely. All right. I don't know. 40, 43 I am. Am I too young? Might be right on the borderline of that. With that 45 pixel brush, we're just going to run along the edge here. And I'll zoom in when well, let me go up here and I'll do this bit first. See how the mask is not great? What happens, and I can make the brush a little bit smaller like that. Watch what happens as I come around here. It's like doing a shrink wrap around the edge. It's just phenomenal. And when I'm zoomed in like this, I can hold spacebar down and then click and drag with my mouse around. So see how there's little bits of grass that are not included in the mask, and little bits of that chair that are not perfect? Once we run this brush over, I mean, it's not a miracle worker. It doesn't work every time, but it works. Oh man, I use it for my masks. 99% of the time. And there's more refining that you can do as well, which I go to within my courses at 𝗟𝗵𝗄𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗏.com.au. If you're not already an 𝗟𝗵𝗄𝗃 Photography course subscriber, have a look in the description below again. There's a course that used to be $149, my most popular course. It's now pay whatever you like. Okay? Choose whatever you like, including zero if you can't afford, if you're doing it a bit tough at the moment in the current circumstance. You can have that course for free. I'm a big believer in the power of art and its benefits, both personally, mentally, but also the benefits that art provides to the community as a whole. And I'm a believer that the more people that are creating purposeful, meaningful art, the better off we all are. Okay, there's a little window here as well. We want that masked out, so we'll just paint over the window. Look at that. Okay, that's pretty phenomenal, really. Click OK. Perfect. And what I'm going to do now is come down to the little black and white circle and select a curves layer. That will take that selection and add it to the mask. And I'll just double click where it says curves 1. We're not going to use this to adjust anything. I'll just call it sky mask. Oops, sky mask. And we'll leave it there. Save that there. Okay, let's try this tutorial. The two Ronnies are legendary. I'm going to have to YouTube them after this and see if I can steal some of their material, right? No, I had a deprived childhood. You might be right there, Tom. You may well be right. You may well be right. All right, let's rock on. Let's keep on going here. Now, we're going to get straight into the painting with pure sunlight. Let's assume the light is coming from the top right-hand corner down through here. So it's going to cast across this face, a little bit wrap around this face, and obviously a little bit into the foreground of the grasses here as well. And then we'll add a bit of a vignette to really, and some shadowing maybe to really set this image off. Let's see how that works. CS6, Daryl asks, do I know if CS6 is similar? Yes and no. Yes, it is similar. It's not exactly the same. Try it. If you have trouble, I do have a CS6 tutorial for that technique. Email me to adam@easywayphotography.com just .com actually, adam@easywayphotography.com, and I'll send you the link. It's not listed on my YouTube channel, but I can send you the private link to that older CS6 tutorial for that particular technique. Everything else in this tutorial will suit CS6. Okay, let's add a painting with pure sunlight layer. This is the big one, let's do it. Come down here to the little black and white circle, select solid color. Now let's set up the color picker here. Basically all we need to do is make sure we all have the H for hue ticked here. You'll see you might get some strange variations if you clicked on down here, but you want the top one selected H for hue, and we'll all have that same panel. Move across to the rainbow slider, set that on orange. Doesn't have to be perfect, somewhere between yellow and red on the orange there, and then click in the middle, roughly in the middle. That will be fine. Keeping up, hopefully. Click OK, and then come down where it says normal above the layer panel, just here where my mouse is. Whoop. Click on that, and we'll change to color dodge. Now, the initial color selection is always a guess. Now we jump back in and adjust it until this face of the building, or the face where we intend to paint onto, looks like pure golden sunlight is washing across that face. It doesn't currently look like that to me. Double click on this brownish icon here. Okay, it's a little bit red, so I'm going to lift up my slider towards the yellows. And see how that face there, to me it's starting to look like beautiful golden sunlight washing across that face of the building. Click OK. All good, no more questions. Okay, what we're now going to do is let's put that in a group, and you'll see why in a minute. So making sure that color fill layer is selected in gray. Press Command or Control G for group. Command or Control G, come on, there we go. Took a couple of goes to get that going. You can now see that that color layer is in the group. I can even double click on the name here and call it painting, going well with that spelling, aren't I? Painting with sunlight. Okay, you can see that's that there. Let's add a layer mask to that group. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is add the mask we previously created to the mask of that group. The easiest way to do that, there's a couple of ways of doing that in fact. I could delete that mask out of the way. Okay, so I don't have a mask. Don't swear and curse if you've already added a mask. Just chill, watch this, and you can choose which way you would like to do next time around. I can hold down Command or Control, click on the sky mask. That will reactivate the sky mask. Now when I add a layer mask, it will pull that attachment up, but it's actually in the reverse of what I want. Okay, you can see it's affecting the sky. I actually want it to affect the foreground. I would press Command or Control I to flip it around. Okay, so we could do that. Or there's not an easier way. It's much of a muchness. If we go back to having just a plain mask there like that, we can hold down Option or Alt, Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, click and drag this mask up to the mask that we want it to go to, and we'll get asked, replace layer mask? Yes, please. Okay, same thing, it's in reverse. Now press Command or Control I to flip it around that way. We're ready to go. Perfect. Everyone's still here with me, hearing me loud and clear? I hope so. It looks like we're still coming through. I can't see the counter and I can't see the live views or whatnot. Okay, give me a yes, we're all good if we're all good. Oh, yep, beautiful. There's a question. I get it. Karen asks, do I work in RGB or CMYK? I work in RGB. Most people in Photoshop, modern photographers, are working in RGB, and then if we're printing in an offset print style scenario for a book, we will convert to CMYK if required. The reason most of us work in RGB is most modern high quality photo printers are printing in RGB. Okay. All good, guys. Awesome. Hopefully, let's get into this. At the moment, we haven't really, you're kind of thinking, well, if this is the best technique ever, you know, I'll be damned because you haven't really done much, but we'll get there. What we need to do is open up the group, okay? So we can see that original layer. Come back down to the layer mask of the original layer and invert it to black, Command or Control I, okay? So now what we've set up is we've set up a sky mask so that when we paint it won't bleed into the sky, and this is going to make painting on this particular effect much, much easier. Terry Robson, good to have you here back again. B for brush, let's paint this in. White brush, roughly 30% opacity, 50% flow with a soft edge brush, 0% hardness from this menu here. 0%, 30%, 50%. Smoothing, forget about it. You don't need it. You can set and forget that on 0. Okay. All we need to do, actually I might change my opacity down a little bit. 30 is probably a bit intense. 15 sounds good. Painting with pure sunlight. Okay, a little bit too much in the foreground, so we'll hit X to go back to a black brush. Just paint, dab it a little bit away, dab it, dab it, dab it. Maybe a little bit more around the corner here. Maybe the light's slightly front on. Black brush again, just take a little bit away from there, a little bit away from there. Dab, 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 a little bit away from there. Look at that, it's just, okay, as I said, if this is not the technique, if this is not the best technique known in Photoshop for painting in pure golden light, and golden light is so, so important to the majority of our photos, then I don't know what is. I mean, that's just one adjustment layer onto a raw file, and look at the difference. Okay, let's now add some shadow, add a vignette, and we'll be essentially done. You know, that's not always the case. Yesterday we spent 2 hours creating this image here, which started at that to that. And we used this technique several times to get this sort of light on this side of the hill, as well as many, many other techniques. Jump back and check that one out. Put it in 2 times speed and watch it for 45 minutes or so, and you'll be able to see the work that goes into an edit that looks something like that. Where are we? Okay, let's add some shadow. Click back up on the top layer. In actual fact, we can close down the group so it's all nice and neat and tidy. Making sure we're clicked on that top layer though. Click your adjustment layer icon. Click curves. Okay, now to add shadow or even change from day to night, which you might have seen that tutorial we did about a week or so back, the best way to add shadow in Photoshop without adding extra contrast, because if we darken down like this, it gets really, really contrasty and saturated and really, really unnatural, and that it doesn't help anything. So if we grab this point and drop that down, we get some really beautiful natural shadowing. Okay, something like that. You can be pretty aggressive with this style of edit. Command or Control I, invert that, and what I will in fact do, let's add that to a group. Command or Control G, we'll call this group shadow. I don't often name mine, but today we'll name them just to make sure we can see what's going on. And again, here we have the mask from painting with pure sunlight. Hold down Alt, or Option, sorry. Click and drag that up to the shadow group and let go. You can see that shadow group highlighted in blue. Let go when it does that. Okay? And it just adds that mask there. Perfect. Now once again we need to come in and access the curves mask, this one here. That's going to act as our masking tape for the sky so we don't bleed, and this will allow us to add a shadow down this wall without bleeding into the sky, which is perfect. We've got that inverted, so we need a white brush. 16% will do, 50% opacity will do. We just start painting, oh excuse me, while I get comfortable, painting particularly this side. Okay, just like that. Maybe that's a bit much. Bit much. That looks good. We'll put a little shadow just there as well, okay? Let's see if that works. White brush, little shadow here. Let's tidy that up, X. I don't want it to come that far out. Just by my eye, I feel like it's too much. Little shadow. I mean, it's very subtle, but it adds to the overall. That's working really, really nicely. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗏, how are you, mate? If you look at the photo from yesterday, after you add the fog, the horizon looks... Yeah, it does, mate. I was looking at that this morning. Yeah, I'll have to check that. After I added the fog, the horizon looks like it's out of level again now, doesn't it? Dipping down to the right here. Yeah, we might have to remedy that, mate, absolutely. Even though we know that we had the horizon straight, the fog that I've put in is sort of pulling the image down a little bit on the right. Absolutely. Thanks for confirming that, because I was wondering that myself. Where are we? Back to the original. Okay. So we can tidy up that group as well, close that, turn them off. Before, after, let's add a bit of darkening to the sky and a vignette to the overall image, and we'll be done. And we'll have a little look and see what we've come up with. Curves, pull the white point down, and we'll pull a little bit from the middle as well. Pretty aggressive layer, this one. We're going to have to be careful painting it on. Command or Control I to invert. B for brush. We want a really big brush because this is going to come on really aggressively. Maybe only 10% opacity in white. And we'll just do lots of clicks to get this vignette. Okay, and this will, in fact, if we add that to a group, Command or Control G again, like we did before, and we come back to the original sky mask, this one down here, hold Alt or Option, click and drag that up. That will give us the same kind of protection. Now we can't paint on the building. Okay, it's only going to affect the sky and the outer edges, which will be great. I actually want that to be quite dark behind. Have you ever seen when you have those beautiful stormy clouds in the background and the sun is just illuminating the trees or a building? That's the kind of feeling that I want to go for here. It's not going to let me paint the foreground though, is it? Okay, so what I might do for the foreground vignette is do that again. Curves. Perfect. Command or Control I. Let's just paint this around the foreground a little bit. Darken off that top, make it really dramatic. Don't want that white little dot in the corner, or that dot there, a bit distracting. What do you think? Nice and dramatic, isn't it? We might just add a little fraction of contrast to the sandstone there. Curves. Grab our little hand here. Let's move, watch the dot moving up and down. Let's see where those tones are. All right, they're roughly in the middle, the mid-tones, right here. And perfect. Command or Control I to invert. B for brush. And that's really all there is to it. Let's have a look before and after. Before, and we didn't do much. Couple of layers with a few different masks just to protect certain areas, but the main big heavy lifter was the painting with pure sunlight and the adding realistic shadows by dropping down that white point, and we managed to get to here with a minimum of fuss. Okay. Absolutely, Robin. The photo just received its daily dose of vitamin D, a bit of sunshine. Hi from Arnhem Land. Hope I haven't missed too much. Graham, all the replays, once we're actually just about to wrap up, all the replays of today's videos you'll find by clicking on my icon, the little eyeball type icon, the black and white eyeball icon. Go to my channel, click on videos, and you'll see all the latest videos. There's about 20 different live videos that we have created over the last month, including both today's short videos. where we did some really fun stuff. Peter Hammer says, refine edge seems to work in CS5. Yeah, absolutely it works. It's just a slightly different workaround. Okay, so pop a few questions in there if you have any. Other than that, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell, because we do this every day. Play in Photoshop, talk about photography, have some really incredible inspirational photographers come and join us and talk about their work. Just basically pass the time and have some fun in the passion that we absolutely love. Did you pull the contrast in the stone? Did I? Yeah, it's very subtle, yeah, on this area here. Absolutely. Awesome. I think we're done. Be sure to tell your friends. As I said, hit the like button for me if you wouldn't mind. If you found some value that was enough to hit the like button, I much appreciate it, because it tells YouTube that this is a video worth watching and helps build the channel, encourages me to keep on doing what we're currently doing. Not that I really need it, because I love it and I plan on doing this for at least the next month to 2 months whilst we're in the current situation. Thanks once again. Be sure to check the description. Photo competitions, courses, this, that, the other. Have a look down there. Tom Putt, love your work too. Okay, thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to do another couple of quick short tutorials tomorrow, bang to bang, back to back. We will have photo critique on Thursday, and of course Ignacio Palacios joining us on Friday. Take care. Love to your family. I'll see you tomorrow. What do I normally say at the end? I can't even remember. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.